Hey everybody, this is to those of you out there who I call the Oakland racists, who only want a story or a take presented your way. If a person, particularly if a person's black, and they present it in a hybrid way, it doesn't occur to you that, first of all, you might be the objective of an action to draw you out. It doesn't occur to you that what you read has an underlying message. Let me break it down to you very simply. Not everything is exactly as you see it. What's happening in this case is you have a president of the United States and public relations people who work for him, who have a lot of money, a budget that's north of 100, actually closer to $200 million, who right now are working to take the public conversation away from Black Lives Matter, and you're helping them. Moreover, I'm going to go a step further. I think some of you know it, because I received a press release from a person or organization, won't name the specific, but claiming to be aligned with democratic socialists who talk about tonight being the right of protest, not Black Lives Matter. And so what's happened since George Floyd and the initial protest that concerned the plight of blacks in America, slowly but surely, there have been moves to take the view away. So when the mayor of Oakland's home was attacked, to me as a black person who has worked in politics, who is trained in media, who's trained in urban planning, more so, by far, and I can go on, it looked first like a political ploy to engineer the public to think in terms where the president would say, all these cities are lawless and I have to send the troops in. But rather than be wise to the action, what do? You say, oh, hey, look at the message that was put on the mayor's home. Well, look, if you actually paid attention to Oakland politics, if you actually knew what the city council was doing and had been doing over the past years, you would know that many of the items on the agenda were ones the city council had worked on. Yes, you should be concerned that as path-breaking as many of them look like they were going to be, they didn't get done, but that's another story for the purpose of this specific video blog. The bottom line is, that was a trick. It's an old trick. Get people to protest against something you happen to know about, have them think that, oh, what they were doing was on the side of those who are liberal or radical or democratic socialist, and therefore what they did was right. It wasn't at all a dynamic where it would occur to you that you were being manipulated. This sort of thing goes on all the time in politics, only now in a digital media world, it goes on more and more and more. And yet, because you don't like that and you don't subconsciously like the fact that it's a African American telling you this, you say, rather than admitting that, okay, you say, oh, you try to find little things that you think are wrong with my presentation, rather than asking the magic question, why did he do it that way? Okay. Those of you who acted in the way I just described also don't have black friends. You don't have even a Facebook presentation that would say, hey, look, my good friends are African American. Where you could argue with them, understand how they think. A lot of you claim to march and protest, but you do so only within your own group. So you don't know how anyone black thinks about anything. And to take it a step further, you don't care. Because if you did, your friendship makeup would be vastly different than it truly is. And I don't mean friends you run into. I mean friends, people that you've went to school with, you borrow money from, vice versa. Friends. By the many, okay? A lot of you don't have that. And it has been a major dynamic Oakland's demographic change over the past 20 years. I've been in Oakland since 1974. So tonight, we have these actions, these protesters on the one hand, mostly white, U.S. Marshals in these cities, and it looks like a gigantic play war with real dangerous consequences. And I say play war because this was orchestrated by the president, and it looks to me like some of the people who claim to be on the other side really aren't, and are playing along to be agitators to start a very dangerous game. So take off your blinders and wake up. But I'll be honest with you, I have zero faith in your desire to do so. Many people who've lived in Oakland for a long time, who've been involved in Oakland for a long time, are talking about how much of a mess Oakland has become.